Hello and welcome to Finextra. I'm Hannah Wallace, and today I'm joined by Ritu Singh of Thomson Reuters, and we're going to be talking about corporate treasury. Ritu, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with me today.
Thank you.
So firstly, what is your outlook for corporate treasurers in 2018, taking into account the current state of geopolitical affairs around the world, and how is this going to differ from 2017?
So I don't believe that there'll be an actual difference, but a continuation of some of the developments that we've seen this year. So when we look at next year, the heightened tension between the power brokers in the Middle East, that's Saudi Arabia and Iran, will escalate. We've just had an example of that with Lebanon being used as the pawn between these two countries. We will also see the US try and continue to drive a wedge between Russia and China. And of course the developments in North Korea. So last night the US announced new trade sanctions against North Korea, and interestingly with some of the Chinese trading companies. What does that mean for treasurers? That means that they will have to have more vigilance around trade sanctions, which are occurring more often than in the past. So this will give them some challenges around things like trapped cash. And we have seen the centralisation of treasuries in the last few years. We might actually look at a more decentralised model.
Okay, and what's your prediction for the future of corporate treasury as a business role for the short to medium term?
Since the financial crisis, Treasury has very much come out of the spotlight, and their reputation has been enhanced with the management of their companies throughout the financial crisis. This has led to treasurers actually having a more critical role as business advisors to the rest of their business. There will be more cooperation and collaboration with areas such as procurement, compliance and corporate strategy. And we will see this continue, and the Treasury is now acting as an advisor to the board as well. So for Treasury as a reputation, it's enhanced and will continue to grow.
And what incoming regulations are you monitoring that might affect corporate treasury?
So the biggest regulation that comes into effect in May 2018 is GDPR, which is the General Data Protection Regulation. This means that companies will actually have to monitor and control the use of the personal data of their clients, and any infringement of this regulation will incur huge fines on companies. This means that they will actually have more control, or need to have more control over data within their organisation. The IFRS 9 accounting standard also comes into effect in January, which means that the hedge accounting rules around using derivatives to hedge underlying cash transactions, although not mandatory, are beneficial for P&L volatility. So we'll see more adoption of that. The base erosion and profit sharing, which is the OECD directive, especially Article 13 for country by country reporting, will continue to grow as more countries adopt this. And we're actually looking to see how EMIR will develop. There is some revisions or proposed revisions to EMIR, which means it will be less onerous for corporates, but we haven't had any updates as yet.
And finally, in your opinion, what do you think will be the greatest challenges for treasurers in the year to come?
The biggest challenge for any corporate is reputational risk. Within Treasury, technology has been a huge enabler. However, as Treasury operations become more automated, this creates exposure for cyber risk. So I believe that that will actually become a boardroom conversation if it is not already. Also, with all the regulation that we've talked about that treasurers have to manage, and some of the trade sanctions, etc., the need for data is greater than ever. However, controlling, analysing that data, both from internal and external sources, is a huge challenge. Individuals within the organisation need to use separate systems for their functions. However, on an executive management level, the corporate risk has to be managed holistically, and we are seeing more and more the need for a platform to connect these different kinds of risks so that they can be identified quickly as a basis for business decisions.
Ritu, this has been great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching.